Thank you very much. It is very gratifying to be back in the wonderful state of Arizona. And it seems like every time I'm here and speak to the Iranian American community of Arizona, both that community and its friends grow larger. But I want to open this conference just to put in perspective why it is we're here today. You know, it is impossible to go on the internet or to open a newspaper or to turn on your television without becoming aware of how extremely important the issue that we're here to deal with is. And we have seen in the last few weeks just untold barbarism. You know, the burning alive of a Jordanian pilot kept in a cage and immolated for the entertainment of his captors. And of course, here in Arizona, the death of Kayla Mueller and the fact that the idea of terrorism, which we like to sometimes think somehow happens someplace else. It happens beyond our shores. As Mayor Giuliani and many others on this panel can assure you, it happens here as well, and it happens to Americans. But when we think about the threats today, I mean, so much attention is now focused on the Islamic State, ISIS, and the threat that it poses in the region. We've seen the government in Sana'a in Yemen collapse with the help of terrorists there funded by the Iranian regime. And when we think about all of these different separate terrorist groups, whether it's al-Qaeda or ISIS or the people in Nigeria, whether it's happening in Africa or it's happening in the Middle East, or whether it's happening in the streets of Paris. One thing we have to remember is that there is an even larger threat, and that is in the state of Iran, where we have a murderous regime that kills and tortures its own people. For those of you who have not had the chance, I direct you to, at some point before you leave, to take a look at the display to show what the Iranian regime has done to the Iranian people. And in fact, the biggest threat that we face is the possibility that that regime is very close to being able to produce nuclear weapons. And we have now going on the six-party talks that are aimed at supposedly putting together an agreement that would halt the nuclear ambitions of the mullahs in Iran, but in fact, we've seen virtually no progress. So all of that is to focus our attention today on what we're here to talk about. And we have a very, very distinguished group of people, and I'll be introducing some of the elected officials from Arizona a little bit later in the program.